Hey, my loves, this is Teresa, and it is the December Soulfully Aligned Business Expansion Experience. Woohoo! AKA training. I don't know what we're doing here, but today the focus is this sounds like such a fun idea, and I actually do this kind of stuff. So, y'all know I was a therapist, right? And I have this idea like, okay, you and your business go to a therapy session. How does it go? Because as a therapist, I had some crazy couple sessions, and I actually love doing couple sessions. I do coaching with some couples now, and I enjoy it so much. And so there's so much wealth to be gleaned from just basically saying, there's me and there's my business. Are we happy? Are we not talking to each other? Is somebody feeling resentful? Somebody taking somebody for granted? Like, it's a really cool, fun, kind of a different way to be with business, right? Because I focus on the strategy and the marketing, but more so I start with the energetic aspects of it, the inner game, the energy pieces. So this is this is a super fun way. So, and I will tell you, this comes from my own experience. So most of what I teach, probably everything I teach, comes from lived experience. And I've been in a funny place with my business, and I'll share more about that later. But I've been in a place with my business of hi, I guess I should visit you occasionally, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry for ignoring you. Like, so this is where I've been. And I know I'm not the only one, right? And I'll talk more about what happens and why that occurs. But I just want to so I have these beautiful women here with me live on the Zoom. Thank you, beautiful women. And I know many of you are going to be doing the work along with us later on the replay. So I just want to set some expectations. Okay. So number one, I took the time this morning. I channeled some notes, and who knows what we're going to do? Because what I do is I always follow the energy. So I'll start. I have some topics, I have some points. We're going to be doing some journaling, some meditating. I'll be doing some clearing, but who knows what's going to emerge, right? Because that's how life is. That's how business is, right? We're just guided as to what to do and in what order. But the thing that's really important to me is that nobody leaves this time, whether it's with us live or later, feeling like you're broken or defective or something's wrong. It's really important that, a lot of the teaching that I do is you have to hold yourself with gentleness. Nothing can be healed, nothing can be moved if there's not compassion and understanding and gentleness. And the reason I say that is for a while I've been like, crap, I've got to fix this problem, right? I have to fix this problem. And the problem is, I was so on fire for my business, and I had a lot of trauma with my son, and it took its toll. And so then I went from very mission focused. I'm so all about my business and my identity. And then boom, my kid was super, super ill for years with addiction and mental illness. And God, he's sober and happy now. But my nervous system was just jacked. I was destroyed. Either all the focus on him, and then it's like, ugh, kind of the ravages of trauma. And then I look at my business and I'm like, I'm seeing all my clients, but I have nothing to give. There was not marketing. I mean, I do marketing, but it's not like I'm on fire with my business. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, I should do a Facebook Live. Right. And that's all I could do. That's all I could do. And I, for so long, was in the state of this is a terrible thing. This is terrible. There's something wrong here. And I'd go to my healers and I'd work with my little pendulum, and I'm like, holy shit, oh, this is a terrible. And I'm like, or this is the season and this is part of the cycle. And maybe it's just perfect. And maybe you needed the restoration. Right. And so I've been in this space with business, and I've done great work with my clients. Some of them are on here, right? I'm rocking the clients and I love the work. But then I'm like, oh, okay, I go take care of me. Okay, I'm gonna go walk the dog. It's like the business priority moved from being all encompassing to like, and I was really in the wrongness of that. And I'm being super transparent, because if I tell the truth, then you don't maybe feel the shame. And I know the season's ending. I'm popping up with some new things, and I'm like, oh, yeah. But I don't ever want anybody to feel like, oh, look at them. They're just, especially if you go on social media, they're like, oh my God, look at they're in their sixth launch of the month, and I'm, sucking ass over it, right? So I just want to always state, wherever you are is perfect. So can we get like an amen, Therese? Can we get like, and when I say that, did anybody's nervous system go, oh good, oh good? Okay. And not everybody's in the season of recovery or restoration or that kind of, some people are in the season of like boom, which is awesome, 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 awesome. And everything applies. But I'm just telling you the reason that this for me is so personal and why it's up now is because I've literally like, I'm not going to networking thing because I'm like, oh, what do I talk about? Hey, walk the dog 3 times today. And my planks are really improving. Like, what the hell do I network? Because I've been so in my life and loving my life and happy, and that the business has taken a backseat. And it's going to change. It's all good. But I just want to let you know that. Okay. It's normal. It's normal. Everything's in seasons. Okay. Are you ready to roll? Okay. So we started before the recording, we started by saying, what are your intentions? What are your intentions? So if you're watching this at home, I want you to think about like, what do I intend to have with my business? So like, imagine I'm going to call it a relationship. So I have a partner, Scott, and I intend to like, oh, I love the shit out of that man. And I nourish that relationship and I stoke it and I it's good. And sometimes we have reviews and sometimes it falls off the rails a little bit. But it's a living, breathing thing that I put time and energy. Like some of you have kids or partners or people that you're in relationship with. That's how I envision it with business. Because I feel like we just start a business, then we forget we have a business. We're just little worker bees and we do our things, right? So I want to start with what's the why of your business? Like why does your business matter? Why do you do your business? So if you want to take a moment, so you can write that down, but I also want to hear a few people. Why? What's your why of your business? Because it kind of matters. Somebody want to share what the why of your business is? Feel free, just jump in.
Yeah. So initially, the why of my business was to support myself,
Mhm.
you know, and it was about helping horses and their owners. So it's kind of twofold, and it's my heart song.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Whew, I feel that night.
So,
Anybody else? Here, a couple more. Roberta, what you got? What's the why of your business?
Um, Thank you for this
Yeah,
twist.
it's good.
I've been very much in life as well and changing my life. So it's like everything else went in the back burner. But my personal way of being in the world is a whole lot of study. I'm a Sagittarian endless learner.
Okay.
So I'm constantly discovering new states of consciousness and ways to access information and intuition and everything. So that's also what I do in my business.
Mm-hmm.
So my business is a parallel process
Mm-hmm.
for my own creative development.
Nice. Nice. Good. Beautiful. Okay. So somebody says, because the message is important and some people can only hear me or you. That's so good. That's so true. The message has to come out. And you are the messenger. Beautiful. Well, sometimes what I've discovered along the way, when you think of the fuel, so we're gonna start with what has been the fuel. Is it the right fuel? And is that the fuel that's going to sustain you? So when I first started, I mean, in like 2000 and I don't know, 6 or something like that, I was working in a coaching company. And she said, I think you have a lot of proving energy. And I'm like, what? No. I had just gotten divorced. And I'm like, I'll show that man. You know what I mean? I had no idea. Because I'm like, I just want to help people, but I had some proving energy. Right. And so that was cool. I didn't know. I was like, shit, okay. So again, the goodness was there, but there was a little tinge of, I got to make sure you all love me because that fool didn't love me and he left me. So I was kind of that, right? And then along the way, I get so mission driven and I just went, and I literally would be like, I gotta wake up, I have to help. I have to help the Stephanies in this world. I'm here. And I was at a workshop with somebody, probably in 2012 or something. And he said, it's cool to want to help people and be mission driven, but what about you? What do you get out of it? Where's the focus on your life? And I'm like, oh, you are a heretic. So I might have been a wee smidge codependent back in the day, right? And but at the time, I was so on fire and I loved what I did. And my identity was such like I help people. I'm like a freaking this, that, and I loved it. And then what happened when my son got really sick? I didn't have the energy as much. And then I got into like, I have to restore. I just have to restore. And I like that I help people, but it lost its focus, right? Because then I had to help me the most. So it's been a strange shift of who gets the most focus in my business. Do I get the most? Do I like? I love Roberta. You're like my business serves my like wonderful love of the learning, and then the out picturing of that is what the clients get. That's the right fuel. And so I just want you to be really honest. Like I didn't know any of this all those days when I was proving and codependently hoping y'all would love me and not leave me, right? That was a lot of years ago. But being on the other side of the business, like, you know what? I'm going to focus on my life right now. The business it tags along. It's good. And now I'm like, what's the fuel now? And I'm older. I got a 6 in front of the age. So I'm old enough to go, I don't need to prove anything. I'm all good. Like I want to be healthy and happy. And so the business, instead of me working for the business, now the business has to work for me. And that's what you were saying, Stephanie. Like that's what you were saying, right? The business has to work for you. So raise your hand if you have ever felt like, or just again, is this part of the conversation helpful? Because this is kind of just setting up the like, ooh, how are you using your business? Is it to obviously the business is to support you, but is it to give you your love needs? Is it to give you your identity? Is it to give you your community and your companionship and your friendship? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's kind of like, are you taking care of yourself in this, or are you all thing? Are you its little slave? Are you its employee that you're like, God, I'm a horrible boss? So what do you want to say about that? Again, maybe you're like, oh, I don't know what that's crazy redhead is talking about. I don't have any of that. So maybe it's just me. But I just wondered if anybody's relating to this idea of what was the fuel at one point? Does it change? And what's a better fuel, like a more balanced, healthy thing? Anybody have any thoughts on that one? It's a big one.
Um, I could say some stuff. I resonated a lot with your like proving energy and codependency stuff. Obviously, you know that. So I think when I look back, that's kind of where I started. And now when I wrote down my why, it was my why of my business is just to bring people closer to God through supporting them to become more fully who God created them to be. And in order to do that, I need to be more fully who God created me to be. So then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so then just noticing like that's sort of that balance or that dynamic I want to have with my business where I can focus on me and my relationship with God and my holistic sense of self. And I've seen the benefit of doing that when I
Yeah.
put the work on myself and do that, and then how much easier things flow in business. So yeah, I've just noticed like that shift, and that's kind of where you were at the end of the year and planning for next year, and I almost feel like, oh my gosh, there's all the things that I want to do, and there's this like, are you like repeating old patterns now? Like, kind of trying to be able to catch that before it like takes over, and then I need to pull back. So, yeah, that's sort of where things
Beautiful.
are.
Beautiful. Anybody else want to share anything or chat it to me? What would you like?
Yeah, so I've been kind of in a transition. So when I started my business, it wasn't horse focused, it was people focused. And I was divorcing. I have 4 kids, and they were flying, sooner than I anticipated. They were teenagers, and I was leaving the family because I wasn't willing to play in the dynamic anymore. And they were all content with it. That's the short version. So there was a lot of proving energy, just surviving, making a living, and identity.
Right.
And a lot of that has shifted into now I'm doing my heart song work, which is the horse work. I've been doing that for 6 years now. And it really, and I'm not as clear about my why,
Right.
because there is still a bit of
Exactly.
identity and making a living and surviving. And there is still some proving energy. Damn it, I'm going to make it. And everyone thinks I can't. So, damn it, here
Okay.
I am.
No, but that's good to know. That's really good to know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's why, my goal is always to make the subconscious conscious. Because when you have awareness, you now have a choice. Right. But when it's under the consciousness, then you're like, wow, that was weird. Why did I take that client when I knew I wasn't supposed, it's like, so the goal is to make it conscious so you can be like, hard, that little improvement, you're okay, you're good. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So I love that. Okay. Let's just move on. I want you to imagine, I'm just going to take like 1 minute and I want you just to get quiet in your body. And I want you to imagine you're going to do a review. You're going to do a review of your business. Just so, okay, we're in December. And so if you just maybe you have to look at your calendar, or you just kind of have to get quiet and just kind of, okay, for this last 12 months, where was it? So just taking a moment, no shame, no blame, no judgment. What did you love? What worked beautifully? What disappointed you? Or maybe broke your heart? Where did you feel really self-expressed and on fire? And where did you feel like you were just throwing stuff against the wall and nothing was sticking? What were the highlights and what were the lowlights? That's a word. And on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being high or the highest, what number would you give yourself in terms of being fully present in your business? Fully present. So 10 is, I was so present. 1 is, barely showed up. And there's no judgment. It's just data. So let me know when you are back. Let's write that down and just take another minute and just write any notes. Give yourself time to really capture this. Your subconscious and your mind will remember it, but if you want to take some notes, go ahead and do that right now. Taking another 30 seconds. Hey, was that illuminating? Anybody get any surprises? Oh, wow. It occurs to me that I really struggle with balance, what I give to others. So my business was at a one. Yeah, I totally get it, especially with your life situation, right? That's the challenge when we have things in our lives that pull us away. So I also want to say there's a distinction between business delivery and business growth, right? Like I can legit say this year I delivered phenomenally well for my clients. I have tremendous pride in like the growth part of my business, doing the lives, all the market, even though I marketed, the what was possible that I didn't do, it was not a 10. It was probably a 3. So I think if you pull that apart, that changes it just a little bit, right? Because I'm sure we all show up a lot for our clients. Like that's not the problem. It's just are we really guiding the business in like all that it can be? Okay. And ask you to do one more visualization. So this is how I represent the energy of the business, and it's you don't have to do it this way. It works really well for me, but if you have your own representation, right? So again, that's not, I'm never one that's like, it has to be this, do my formula, because everybody's different. Okay. So when I think of my business, in front of me, I see a fire. That's my business. Okay. And so I can look at it, I can tune in and I can just go, I pull up the energy of my business. And sometimes it'll be blazing flames. And I'm like, yeah, it's on fire. Cool. Sometimes it's just like smoking embers, like crap, there must have been a fire a week ago. And this to me is a really good barometer for how much energy my business has. Okay. So I'm going to invite you now, and maybe your business is like a person, or maybe it's a cat, or it's just a ball of energy. I just want to invite you to create for yourself a visual represent, because now we got to start talking, or start talking to the business. Okay. So in whatever way you can, maybe you're looking at a papers of incorporation, whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be how we do it. So take a moment, and I want you to grab that's in your mind or just allow to emerge in front of you. Now, here's the thing. Some people aren't visual, and that's okay. So if you can just intend the energy of my businesses in front of me, some people are auditory. Maybe you're not going to see sparks and flames, but maybe you just intend that there's the energy of the business, and you'll just know, right? So when we ask it a question, maybe you'll hear it, or maybe you'll just feel it like, oh, that's what the business would say. Okay, I just want to make sure y'all understand not everybody's visual. Okay, so taking a moment, we're going to go back in that. Now we got your business in front of it. So if you look at your business, whatever the number you came up with, I want you to say, business, how are you feeling about this last year? What was it like to be walking with me this year? And you can come in and out and write stuff down. I'll have a few more questions, but just so the first question was, how was it like this year for you, business? And then the next question is, how do you feel about me? When you look at me trying to run you, trying to do this thing, what feeling emerges? The next one is, what did you need from me, or do you need from me, that I didn't provide or couldn't provide? What did you need from me, or do you need from me, that I couldn't or didn't provide? Let me type that in chat. the next question. What's available to me? Meaning, the business has a soul of its own. It has an energy. It has a purpose. It has goals and desires, and it's here for something. And it's kind of like it's going, come here, come here. All you got to do is like, let me show you what's possible. What's possible? This is what's available to you. I want you to see. Ooh, I got goosebumps on that one. That's a big one. Here's another question from the business. And you say to the business, what do I need to embrace or step into? So the business is sharing with you, in order to get what's available and possible, I need you to be what? So finish writing this part, and then we're going to switch, and you're going to talk to the business. Taking another 30 seconds. You can always come back. Okay. So we're going to do from you to the business. And then after that, we're going to open it up to some sharing. So you're going to get to share if you want. And you feel free to ask questions if you want, or just chat me privately and let me know anything. All right. So now you're going to be talking. So the business has basically said, this is how I feel. This is what I need. And this is what I think is available. And this is what you could do this. So I want you to talk to the business. For mine, I'd be like, I'm sorry I've neglected you. Like, thanks for hanging out. And my gosh, you've always been there. You've been super patient, right? Like, that's the conversation I would have. Maybe somebody would have a conversation like, I'm so pissed off at you. Like, I bust my ass and I'm not getting it. Or some might be like, oh my gosh, you have just opened doors and I'm so forever grateful. So you get to say whatever you want to the business. And I want, there's some, just start there. And I've got 3 specific questions. So just, what do you want to say to the business? Like, imagine if we were in couples counseling and I'm like, okay, go ahead, your turn. You get to share. Now you get to share uninterrupted to the business. What do you say to the business? So just notice that. And then I'm going to put 3 more questions in. First question to the business now is, or the statement is, what I need from you is. Business, what I need, if I was talking to a partner, I might say, I need more affection, or I need you to hear me, or I need you to whatever. So to your business, literally, what would you say? What I need from you is. understanding that it wants to be with you. It wants to support you. It's here for you. The next one may or may not apply. Question is, where I felt you let me down is, some of you might have felt like left down in your business, let down. If that's the case, if not, don't answer it. And the final one is, what I can offer you or commit to you is, you might not be at the place of commitment. So maybe all you can do is say, I'll offer that we're going to sit down every week and have a meeting. I'll offer that when I do marketing, I'll bring you into the conversation. I can commit that I'll show up, that I'll remember you, that I give thanks for you. So see what you got with that. Take about 30 more seconds and come back together. Okay. So number one, there's more, but how is that so far? So what was that like for you to see or connect with the energy of your business, ask it questions, listen to it, talk to you? How was that? Did anybody have any like, whoa, I'm surprised, I didn't know that, or oh, thank God, that was so cool? What did you guys get?
I was surprised at how much personal growth there's been over the year.
Beautiful.
You know, I was so focused on need more clients, but it's been the personal growth.
Hello.
And it felt really good to connect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I always say that the entrepreneurial journey is a spiritual path.
Yeah.
It is for our growth. Well, those of us who are, you know, if we just own a McDonald's franchise, it might not be the same. But for those of us who are our own, we are our own agents. Yeah, that's great. I love that you got that, Alice. Anybody else want to share? What was this like? I'd love to hear an aha or a new. Did anything surprise you?
Yeah, I was when you asked, how does your business feel about you? It was like, oh, I love you. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like it was really interesting to see like I have a lot of fear that it's gonna take over. Um, and that its response was like, no, I understand and I align with your values and I'm not trying to actually do that and it needs me to trust it. And I was like, oh,
That's fantastic. I love that. That's great.
interesting.
Because that was your fear. That's what you said in the beginning. That's my fear.
Yeah,
Roberta,
yeah.
did you want to share something?
Yeah, I had to laugh because my business showed up as a classroom with this scattering of students, and most of them were on their phones. And I heard loud and clear, "You weren't loud enough."
That's so good.
Paying attention.
Wow. Okay
It's
then.
really funny. And, you know, I got lots of answers for everything, but what will I commit to? was is fun, relaxed visibility and a wish board. I'm going to do a wish board because
Nice.
I'm manifesting a very new life. And I
Yeah.
heard the expression of this is inextricably connected. So now I have a question, and I heard I have to listen in and look in because I don't know how that is.
Mm.
The inextricably. It's like, oh, so
Yeah.
I need more intel. I need some research on that,
That's
how it expresses itself or unfolds. So that's interesting. And the wish board just popped in. I thought,
so
what?
cool. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
that's what I love this exercise because the business is like another entity, if you will, that can give guidance, that is like a partner, right? Whereas we think of it's just an LLC or a thing that funnels money and clients, but it's literally got wisdom and guidance and is like moving you. So I love that you got that. That's so cool. Maybe
yeah.
I'll share something they got. Dorothy, did you want to share? It looks like you were unmuted there for a minute. Okay.
Hi, sorry, that was by accident. But I want to say that I have hesitation spending on marketing. My business was like, but how am I supposed to like eat anything?
Right. Right. Anna needs the money. I like that. That's great. That's great. Okay. So we're gonna do one last piece. What? Because we're gonna do like the last piece, the release of the old, and then we're gonna move into the new. Okay. So your business told you like, here's the deal, right? And then you told the business, this is what I see, right? We did the review. So if you were to energetically say, okay, this year my business did this or I did this, if I were to start the new year fresh, clean slate, and maybe we release disappointments, maybe we release clients that didn't come or clients who didn't like, or we release things that like the vendor that didn't work or whatever it is. So what you like, so now instead of the big business being over there, you're together. You're like, we're gonna have a release party. And you know, I love me my fire. Big fan of pits of fire. So I want you to imagine we're all together, we're on a retreat and we're sitting around the fire. And when I do retreats live, I always have a fire pit. And one by one, people will walk up and will say, I let go of boom. So I want you to imagine, and so here's the thing. You don't have to go, what would that be? Just ask your business. So what do you need to be released? And then you say, well, I want to release boom, boom, boom. And you envision that you write it down. And then you just walk up to the fire and you just go and literally see the smoke, see it, trusting and knowing, there we go. It's already happening. But I want you to visualize that. Just take a moment. What is it that needs to be released? From your business towards you, from you towards your business. Anything in your life that interfered. So go ahead and do that now. And I'm affirming that it is safe to release this now. And I want you, as you're walking away from the fire, who am I without this? Who is my business without this? Notice an opening in your body. There we go. Taking 30 more seconds. We're going to wrap this up. Okay, please bring yourself back to the space. So I will tell you, I always just pull up my pendulum before a little thing like this because this was a clearing ritual. And so the question is, how open is this cohort to releasing and stepping into the new? And before that release, y'all were only 12% open, the cohort, right? After the release, it's like 70% open. So just know sometimes all we have to do is go, whoa, that disappointment, that grief, that whatever it is, clears so much space. And so be thinking like, is there anything else? If I'm going to start new, me, my business, we're going to have this new couples relationship. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to love each other. We're going to communicate better. Is there anything else that needs to go? So that's what you're going to do on your own. And I want to show you. Let me find if I can find. Hold on. I have a document I want to show to you. If I can find it. Hold on one second. Oh, here it is. I'll just do it in the chat. Okay, so hold on one second. So the final, no, I'll just show it to you. I'll just show it and put it in the chat for you. The final piece before we I want you on your own. I'll show you an example, but I want you to literally write a love letter to your business. And when I did this, so my business used to be called happyinbusiness.com. I love that, happy in business. And somebody was like, that's cool, but you should own Tree Scout. Like you should be like, everybody loves the idea of having business, but you should brand your name. Okay. So when I decided to release the happy business, I knew like, oh, I can't just drop the thing and go, okay, screw off, love you, see ya. Like I just was like, I needed to ritualize it. So I actually wrote a letter to Happy in Business. And let me see if I can find this. I just want to, if I can share it with you. And I'll pop it in the chat too. So this is my version. Okay. This is my version. You don't have to do my version, but I want you to see this was like deep, deep, deep from my heart, just from my heart. It encompasses all of it, right? I really went to my heart and I was like, wow. Oh. And I remember crying when I did this. It was so like I didn't leave anything, but I ended this happy business chapter and it was like, whoa, I had to honor every single thing that I got. And this probably was like 12 years in business. I was like, look at what you gave me. And so I would really recommend that you do that. If you didn't, I could just put it in the chat, but hopefully you saw that. And I'll send a letter out to my email list about that. So I want you to like understand that your business is not just a piece of paper. It's not just a title or a website. It's literally a living, breathing, soul-filled helper to you. And one of my clients, I love what she says because she had a year where she had a lot of physical problems and was just basically off of business handling stuff. And now she comes back and she's like, I want to have devotion to my business. I love that word, right? And so whatever that is for you. So her work in the world is her spiritual work. And the way she shows up in her business is like, I want to be devoted to this, to my work, to myself, to my business. They're not separate. So if you were to shift your thinking like, oh shit, I got a market, or oh, I've got clients to see today, to like, wow, how can I do that with all of me present? Understanding that like I can bring this piece together. So that's the invitation. Like that's what's possible. So what that might look like is do the letter, feel it, feel it. And then what would you have to embody, right? Like sometimes when I visualize, it's like I'm here and my business is way out there. So how do I go, okay, I gotta put myself in the middle of my business. I have to, not the fire part, I don't step in the fire, but I have to get myself pulled into my business. I sometimes wrap the business around me, like, come on, okay, oh, that's nice. Okay, there we go. Sometimes I'll ask it like, what should I do for this program? What do I charge? How do I roll this out? Right. So you can use it as a guide or as a consultant or a partner. You're not separate from it. So I just want to hear how this has landed for you. If you have any questions, what's different? Did we meet your intentions? Anything else? I know that's a lot, but just want to open it up at the end.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay.
Certainly met my intentions, because even though I understand there's this folding down for now, because I have so much to close out and open to, but I have juice around a wish board. And then I love the idea of the love letter to us as part of it. And I heard that I need to do to who is my business, with this, I need to do way more grounding and trust, literally, that the roots will be nourished, even though I don't know what it looks like or what the outcome is.
Exactly.
But the actual physical grounding, and if I can't get my bare feet on the soil, to visualize it and do that, and to reclaim the trust and faith. So I feel uplifted by that.
Roberta, that makes
Thank
my
you
heart
so much.
happy. Yeah, of course. See, that some people come to me and say, I haven't really been working on my business. I've been working on myself. And I'm like, that is working on your business. Right. The more restoration, the more nourishment, the more fun, the more joy, the more life we have, the more yummy. Every time that cat walks by Janice's computer, I'm like, oh, love that. You know what I mean? The more of that, it's not like I'm only working on my business when I'm sitting in front of my computer doing a marketing email. The more you grow, the more you're connected to yourself and your earth and your passion and or your spirituality. That's work on your business. So I love that you just got, I just ground and business grows. It's not separate. I love that. Anybody else want to share? It's kind of wrapping up. Alice, you're muted, honey. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on my iPad now, so I missed the last 5 minutes. Sorry. What really came through clearly is relaxing and trusting into my business, that it knows what it's doing, and I am safe in that. So,
beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. Do you want to share anything really quickly with us? Any takeaways? And I'll get back to it.
My business turned into my child with God, and I don't have to be self-sufficient. And so it's like, yeah, we'll talk more about that. Sorry, I gotta go. Bye.
Okay. Alice, yes, back to you. Yes. There's Alice. Okay, okay. You move. When somebody drops off, you move. Yeah, just you can trust. You just beautiful. Nice. Anybody else? Somebody says, I need to release the external expectations that we need to behave a certain way to be successful. Yes. Like that's it, right? So you might want to say, whose art expectations are those? Like, is that just the collective? Is that somebody in my family or my church or my, whatever, that this is how successful people act. This is how business women should be, or this is how healers have to act, or this is how six-figure, like there's those paradigms or, the narratives floating in the space. And it's like, mine, not mine. You can pendulum on that, right? You can divine on that. And so is it yours or is it not yours? And that's what I'm a lot boldly self-expressed. Sometimes I swear and I'm sassy, and sometimes I'm just transparent and yummy and real. And I do that because I want to show you all the range. It doesn't have to be like, I'm so great with the 7 figures. No. Sometimes life sucks ass. I'm so great though, right? And so it's really just being the fullness of who you are. Because again, if it's in you to do, you're the chosen one to do it. So there is no template. There is no, this is how it's got to look. It looks like how you create it. So love, I would say, ask the business how you have to be. Ask what voice, what energy, what identity, what messages. Okay. People got to go. All right. So, thank you for showing up. I really have loved having you here. If anybody wants to say anything else, feel free. I'll stay on one more minute. And I do have a meditation. Let me find it for you. Some of you have probably already heard this, but this will deepen the work. This is on Insight Timer. This is, hold on 1 second. This is called Connecting to the Soul of Your Business. And it's about tapping in terms of, who do I market to? What do I say to them? What do I have to let go of? So it's kind of what we did, but a lot deeper. It's about 20 minutes or something like that, 12 minutes, 12, 20 minutes. I don't know, I think it's 20 minutes. So that's something you can do. You can do that regularly. So as we go, I would like to hear takeaways, just a couple words or anything else you want to say to take away. And I'll invite you, if you feel like called to reach out, see about working with me, or if you have some questions about this work, just message me. Okay, so takeaway, Alice.
My takeaway is a new awareness and connection with my business energy.
So good.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think the process of connecting you, writing the letter, and then making the commitment for, okay, how am I being? Are we having weekly meetings? Do I literally don't ignore it? So I think that's the arc, is how do I now have that's my business part. I'm just not its employee. It's just not my entity. It's a working, breathing, living, vibrant connection. Because it wants to be all things for you. That's it. It's here for you. It just wants to serve you and serve the world. So let's activate it, right? Okay. Any other takeaway? Roberta, you already shared, but is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, just your generosity reminds me that everything is there, and we don't have to fight for everything. Yeah, I feel very graced by this offering.
Beautiful. I was thrilled to have you in my community today. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, beautiful. Anybody else? Takeaways? You can answer or not, but if you want to have something specific you want to share, it's great. Okay, people are jumping off. All right, peace and blessings. Thank you for watching. Reach out if you have any questions or want to talk about working together. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye now.
Thanks.